Hi, my name is Mike and welcome to my vlog about football in general and Burnley FC in particular. A vlog that this week, after a really nice break over the festive period, is wondering just how much its reserves of keen analysis and withering sarcasm got recharged. Yep, last night at Turf Moor, Clarets drew 2-2 with Man United, and contrary to appearances, because I don't just throw this rubbish together, after a month and several games without a win, at the start of this week, it seemed like both managers were dead men walking, and I had a few kind of thoughts about that. Then on Monday, Ruben Amorim lost his internal battle with the United management and became the latest incumbent of the Old Trafford hot seat to pack his belongings into the nearest cardboard box. With the United team that's potentially released from the shackles of a rigid formation. I've heard that before. What is the Portuguese for 3-4-3? The current spate of injuries, I was wondering if Parker would send the Clarets out in even more of an unambitious defensive shell. Let's put it this way, even after a month away, the prospect of battling through the traffic in the cold and wet to watch another dreary game had me wondering why the hell I put myself through this sort of thing. But the answer is the same, that it's always been and always will be when it comes to watching Burnley during the bad times. Being a Claret fan is an incurable disease, mixed in with a healthy dollop of spite. Speaking of getting to Turf Moor, a few upgrades since I was last there. New screen in the corner above the ground, new screens in the tunnel, and the gate outside the back of the Jimmy Mac. Now remember when at the start of the season they announced their new exit changes, and a bunch of people seemed to utterly lose their stuff over it. I've had a season ticket for 60 years, I can't turn right instead of left. It's just another Hillsborough waiting. Well, after all those people stopped coming and there were regular injuries through crushes every other week, we now have an exit gate. Or maybe those people who lost their wigs over what was a small change were just a bunch of moaners with nothing else to do. So fuck those people and their wigs. As for the visitors, talking about Man United, they could have gone into fourth in the league with a win, which must be the result of some kind of residual Premier League muscle memory, because they really aren't all that. They're a million miles away from Arsenal. The same as they have been for the best part of a decade, a bunch of ingredients in search of a recipe. Whereas Clarets, okay, we have an injury crisis, but, I'd kind of given up trying to guess who we're going to have in our defence this week, even with the sort of injuries and stuff like that. Having said that, Esteve, I think, came back in. Humphreys and Perez as sort of wing-back, Humphreys as centre-back. Kyle Walker, Laurent. I think it worked. I think the defensive setup worked. Again, I don't want to sound like I'm damning with faint praise here. That Man United team, I don't care that they're in 5th or 6th or 7th. That is not a very good side. And our team basically coped with it, despite the injury problems, despite the fact it's kind of patched together, despite the fact we've got kind of Hannibal coming straight off the plane back from AFCON and into the centre of the park. So the game starts, fairly bright opening, and then Humphreys scores a goal by committing the crime in Parker's tactical setup of actually heading towards the byline. Hannibal, nice ball through. He heads toward the byline. Humphreys puts the cross in, which takes a fortunate deflection into the far corner, and the crowd kind of celebrate. It was a bit of a weird celebration. It was more a what the hell just happened, as opposed to a you see it coming. That's not a complaint. It's just one of those kind of weird ones. It was like, did that just really happen? Did we actually, in this season where, as all relegated or relegation threatened teams do, where bad things happen on a regular basis, it was like, we got a slice of luck there. I can't believe that actually happened. Clarets, I think at that point as well, it wasn't undeserved. The problem I had was we stepped back into that defensive shell again for about 5 minutes. And I was like, oh, God, come on. You've done all right so far. You've done okay for the first 12 minutes. You can actually come out and play. And to be fair, they did. Hannibal, where do you go with Hannibal? Hannibal's a problem. I get the running around a lot. I get the pressing. That's all great. All that good stuff. But a lot of it, the things he does, what comes along with that is kind of some brain dead stuff. It's all well and good pressing to get the ball back if you don't immediately give it away again. And then he gets booked for diving twice. And to be fair to the ref, and I'll come on to the ref in a sec, But to be fair to the ref, he did warn him the first time. It was a blatant one the first time. I could see it from even where I was. The second time, I'm too far away. And he's like, yeah, he's got carded for that. He deserved it. He absolutely deserved it. And from that point onwards, all the good work and all the things he was doing, the pressing, the harrying, all that kind of stuff, he couldn't do it anymore because he's on flipping yellow. And he doesn't, it's not even that Parker doesn't trust him to do the full 90 and be sensible for the full 90. He clearly doesn't trust himself because he started backing out of that press. He started slowing himself down and all that kind of thing, which removes that everything he is. And he's not learning. I know he's young, but he's still not learning. And if you're not going to learn over time, what is the point? All this good stuff just gets wiped out as soon as he takes the yellow card. And it's a dumb yellow card. It's not even as if United tricked him into it or suckered him into it or whatever. It was like a pointless, needless dive twice. And that's it. He's ineffective, or comparatively ineffective for the rest of the time he's on the pitch. So Clarets have scored. Really nice clearance off the line by Humphreys, having him fully deserving as man of the match. And then there was the disallowed goal as well from the corner. Kind of interesting watching the fallout, because if anything gets disallowed or VAR comes in, then that's the trigger for everybody to chuck their 2 pence in, even when they clearly have no idea what they're talking about. I mean, the most threads on Up the Clarets are a bloody car crash to start off with, but the particular one about the disallowed goal managed to end up arguing that the ref, despite giving the correct decision, using the correct process, and it was in the favour of the Clarets against the big club, still managed not to do it properly. I mean, there's modern fandom in a nutshell for you. Meanwhile, the Man United-based journalists who are reporting on it on the game for national newspapers and online, along with ex-Man United player Gary Neville, who often appears commentating on Man United games in order to give a Man United-based perspective, which then tells legions of armchair Man United fans what to say online, all disagreed with the most obvious of decisions. Can't think why. Perhaps they haven't got used to the Red Devils' diminished status these days, where they've suddenly dropped out of the top echelon of the Premier League and back down into those levels where the rules around these things start actually getting applied to you. Rest of the team, pretty good. Broja worked his nuts off. I know he got substituted in the second half. I kind of figured his race was run, and we needed the injection of pace from Lyle Foster. No complaints there. Edwards was all over the pitch, quite literally, popping up all over the place. Really, really good. I think that's really effective. Don't just stick him on a wing. Get him moving around, finding space. But ultimately, how many times have we seen it where we broke forward, we've had space, we've run out of them, we get to the 18-yard line, we stop, we play it backwards. We stop, we play it backwards all the way back to the defence and sometimes the goalkeeper. We take it up to the 18-yard line. I did this last year. I did this in October 24. We take it up to the 18-yard line. We do not go to the byline. We do not use the wings. We do not go wide. We get to the 18-yard line, stop and think about it. Because there is no real plan. There is no assumption that the centre forwards are going to be there because they're being asked to drop too far back. Tactically, it's all a mess. Fine, yesterday we not got away with it. That's not right. But ultimately, despite a beautiful goal from Jaiden Anthony, or as we call it now in Burnley, doing a Benson, we had one shot on goal. 2 goals, 1 shot on goal. If you follow these things, and I don't particularly care, XG of 0.2. Parker ball in a nutshell, really. Defensively, Sesko scores twice. First one was a really nice ball from Fernandes. Didn't go unnoticed. It was the first time that United put the ball in low. In the first half, they were putting crosses in, Esteve, Humphreys, Walker, etc., just dealing with it really, really well. Then we get beat with one down low. Fernandes. You know, you like when you hate players, and it's kind of like a pantomime thing. You enjoy hating them, but also you kind of respect them and all that kind of stuff. Bruno Fernandes, you don't. You just hate him. He's just a whiny little petulant child. Admittedly very, very talented, but you don't have that kind of grudging respect for him. And he goes off after 60 minutes or so. Good was that probably after. United scored the second. Again, nice finish. Oh, look, across from the wide areas, playing it through, getting near the byline, crossing it over. Sesko with a nice finish. Having said that, yeah, Fernandes was still on the pitch, because if you look at the highlights, you see not only Sesko, but behind him is Fernandes, and Pires. Sorry, not Pires. Humphreys is, because you've got to get it right, because people hate watching it now, hate watching these vlogs now. Humphreys is kind of stuck in the middle, neither fish nor fowl. So, I mean, but credit to the lads, credit to the team. They could have had their heads dropped. It kind of felt a little bit in the stadium that it was a bit, here we go again. But I think with Anthony scoring that goal, the equaliser so quickly, it made a difference. It made a difference to the crowd. It made a difference to the confidence of the team. Yeah, you could kind of say United should have won, deserved on balance of play, but all that kind of stuff. Well, we've been saying deserved on balance of play. We didn't win for 18 months. So, that's football for you. That's the way it goes. I think Claret's earned their point. There's a difference between deserve and earn. And, lots of United fans complaining, oh, well, we didn't win, but we had so many chances, it's not fair, blah, 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 blah. Like I say, there's a difference between deserving and earning in football. Claret's earned their point. Did we deserve all three? No. Did we earn all three? Not really. But we certainly earned a point. And, we were a little bit fortunate to come away with a point in terms of hitting the bar, a couple off the line. But that performance deserved a point. And for all my not negativity before the game. Yeah, negativity before the game. I suppose I was not in a good frame of mind going, why am I doing this? Given the run and the way that Parker Ball is. I was pleasantly surprised. I was pleasantly surprised with the team, with the way they played. Can we please keep doing that? Can we please keep having a go and try and sprinkle some kind of attacking plan in? Because, Broja didn't have any chances to finish. I've been saying again, why am I repeating myself? 18 months of this. The strikers aren't given chances, so, they can't really finish. So, they, because they're too far back, that's the way the tactical plan is. We run to the 18-yard line, we turn back. Having said that, this time last year, well, not quite, at the end of January, after the Sunderland game, a switch got flipped, or the handbrake came off, and we went on that little winning run. Is history going to repeat itself? I don't know. I can't believe it. See, this is the thing, we're only, 8 points away from safety, 8 or 9. Where was that performance? Where was that team earlier this year? When we didn't have the injury problems. That's the frustration, Go talk about car crash threads. I've read the Parker out one on Over Clarets. Jeez, that's not a car crash. That's the end of Smokey and the Bandit too. So many people just ignoring the facts. But anyway, I'm still in the situation I was. I can't wait for the manager to leave. I'm not demanding he gets sacked. I'm just, can't wait for him to leave, and that's the difference. I think yesterday's result buys him another couple of weeks. If you play like that away at Liverpool, we'll probably lose, but that's not a problem. Most people lose at Liverpool. I know their home form isn't good, but most people lose at Liverpool. We're at home to Spurs. Play like that, and we've got a bloody good chance. So that is not a good Spurs team on a good run, and therefore we have a good opportunity. But Fulham went on a good run, Palace went on a good run, Brighton went on a good run, Bournemouth went on a good run, Everton went on a good run, and Newcastle went on a good run away from home. And how did we play against that one? It's weird. We take on Man United away. We have a good game against Liverpool at home. We score against Villa. And then suddenly we stop what we're doing and retreat into a shell. Is this another false dome? Is this another... No, we can't be doing that. You got to be pragmatic. You got to be this pragmatic. You got to be... there's pragmatic and there's what this is. But anyway, so... in summary, taken as a 90 minutes, happy with the result, happy with the performance, happy with the game, happy with the way it went. But regular watchers of this vlog go, no, I do not ever really take 90 minutes as just 90 minutes in isolation. I try to look at the bigger picture. And it's one of those where it sounds a little bit, what have you done for me lately? But that's where I am. Because I've seen too many false dawns under this manager. I've had too many promises that haven't been kept. And I want to see that more of that. I don't, you could have played the injury card. You could have played it's Man United with the, not new manager bounce, the getting rid of the old manager bounce. But you didn't. You went out there with a positive attitude. Obviously not perfect, but I don't care. No game's perfect. But you went out there with the attitude that it was possible to get at least a point out of there. And rode the luck at times, but got the point that they earned. They earned that point. Can we do it again? Can we do it again for the rest of this season? Not for... I don't care about Millwall. No one seems to care about the FA Cup at the moment, and that's a real shame. But Millwall's just a whatever, just get the game over with. But next week, whoever we play, can we play like that? Can we keep playing like that? Then I'll start believing. Then I'll start going, well, I don't care if we go down because at least we gave it a shot. Leeds are giving it a shot. Wolves are giving it a shot. West Ham are not giving it a shot. But at least we're beginning to maybe, green shoots of recovery, maybe give it a shot. And that's all I can ask for. That's it for this week. Might be doing a vlog next week on something. I've got an idea for something. It won't be the Millwall game because I'm not going. But I've got an idea for something. It just depends if I get the time. In the meantime, if you like this one, click like. If you really like it, subscribe. Please click subscribe. If you really hate me being online and telling you facts, please, thank you for hate watching. Also subscribe for the next one that you can hate watch and try to give me unsolicited advice on again. Yeah. In the meantime, yeah. In the meantime, up the Clarets.